Boom, what's going on? What's going on, people? Back again on the Jerry James World Cup show. The week of football's over. Well, it's not over yet. The Monday to Friday is over. It feels like we've literally been indoctrinated. Like, we've been so much football. It's been ridiculous. But big up to everyone in the building, as always. I'm with the main man, Jamie Phillips, today. Some of the guys, obviously, as they let you guys know, obviously couldn't make it. But we said we've got the panels on rotation. Do you know what I mean? This is what happens when you've got a big squad. You rotate, do you know what I mean? And you get through, unlike a certain Southgate. But listen, as I always say, make sure you're smashing the like. Make sure you're subscribing to Jamie Phillips Football Chats as well for all the watch-alongs. And yeah, it's going to read out some of the comments as well. As I said again, just make sure you're liking, because RJ's going to come in and he's going to start kicking people out of the chat. Do you know what I mean? So make sure you got that ticket for the World Cup show. Violent Clown, big up, saying, what did Southgate think England were playing Brazil tonight with that pragmatic approach to the game? Southgate's a bum. Look, we're going to get into it. Gio saying Bellingham had a stinker with Rice, but no one will say a word. We'll get into that.
They will. Don't worry.
Southgate just a coach that hacked his system, take away deep line midfielders, and you lot are stuck. Great analysis from UGO. We got Marquez saying McKennie, Adams, and Musa bossed England. Listen, I want to talk about Musa. If you guys have me on Twitter, I mean, there's loads of you guys on Twitter. You will know I'm talking about Musa. This guy is incredible. We're talking about a brother that's 19 years old, people. 19. He's 19 years old. He's a teenager. And sorry, his game looks much, much more mature than some of our youngsters. Do you know what I mean? In England, it is really impressive. Angel 968 saying Brighton must be happy. The recruitment is excellent. Vamos, Ecuador. Vamos. I mean,
think with it on this. Sorry, your wife said.
No, that's all right. No worries. Mark A saying, look, Musa upstaging Bellingham. Zayn Hanif saying, why couldn't we have gotten McKennie over Arthur? Listen. Angel saying Rice has cement boots. What is Mount's position? Another rated team outworked by supposedly a lesser side. Ilya saying Kane always bottles it. We got KVJ in the building saying big up Jerry and Jamie. Big up. And RJ, what did I say? He's going to turn up. He's saying like and subscribe, guys. It's free. And that's what it is. It's free. But Jamie, let's get into it. We always work our way back during the show. England versus the USA. Do you know what I mean? The Yanks versus the Three Lions. Soccer versus football. And for me, I mean, it was a draw. But soccer won. And they should have won. I mean, talk to me. I know you got the flag in the background. I love the innuendo.
Right. I believe when I came on the other day when England beat Iran 6-2, I believe I said I weren't happy with the performance and I thought it overshadowed everything. Today, you see why. I don't think England performed any difference today than they did against Iran. If you look at the game by game, the system was the same. The way we played was the same. The slow progression forward with the ball, the side to side, and the front to back passing that we do. There was no difference. The only difference is that Iran were terrible. We scored 6 goals. I always said in that game, remember, Iran scored 2, and if they were any better, they could have had a third and a fourth. We have not. There's no difference in the performances, and I got slagged off for that because we won 6-2. But you got to look at it properly, man. This England team's dead. Southgate cannot coach world-class footballers. He just can't. He doesn't know how to do it. It's above his pay grade. How Phil Foden ain't in your best 11, I have no idea. What does Mason Mount actually do? If Mason Mount is in this football team just to do a covering role, you might as well play Henderson because he does that every week. You know, if you go do that and that's his role in the team, he's not actually a number 10. He's there to just do covering, you know, for other midfielders. You might as well play Hendo because Hendo does that every week for Liverpool. That's his job. Yeah, you know what I mean? You might as well do that. What is the point of Mason Mount? Harry Kane. Right, here we go. Harry Kane shouldn't play. He does too much. He does too much on the pitch. I want to see Harry Kane doing less on the pitch and being more in the box. He is never on. He was only in the box once today for a pullback. Every other time he was on the edge of the box because he was too deep in the game. He does too much. He's not a number 9 anymore. He's not a number 9. He's a number 10. does too much. Sterling is in this for reputation alone. For reputation alone. Saka, I would persist with. But I look around. What does Trippier do? America should have scored 2 goals today. And by the way, if they did, they're all because of Trippier's poor defending and not being in the positions he should be. Do you know how many times we had that right to left switch on today when Shaw was in acres on that left hand side?
It was a few times.
Absolute tons. Guess what the player is who does that all the time? There's a speciality here. Yeah, he's sitting on the bench. Gary Neville said it best. If Trent can't play against Iran and America, Trent's in trouble with under Gareth Southgate. If he literally can't play against Iran and America, there's no point having Trent. There's no point picking him for your squads. Trent might as well just pull out of England squads as long as Southgate's manager, because he's whatever we think about him defensively, the man is more creative than Trippier. Trippier ain't got a creative bone in his body. It's all the sideways passing today and the 3-yard passing, the slow build-up. There was a switch on all the time in that first half. We neglected it because Trippier ain't got it in his game. Bellingham playing deep. Why would you have one of the most exciting box-to-box midfielders in the world playing an anchor role? Someone help me with that.
Yeah, I mean, look, talking about Bellingham, and I know he was playing an anchor role, a bit of a different kind of role for him. He probably adopted. It was more of the second half against Iran as opposed to the first half against Iran for Bellingham. He got swallowed up by that midfield. Adams, Kenny, and Musa were excellent. Yeah. Excellent. Musa in particular always makes the right decision. Always makes the right decision. He's got legs about him. Listen, I've said it in the tweet. I'm on the train with this guy. I'm honestly in the train with this guy. Listen, you take him now whilst he's under 20 million at the moment, probably, maybe 30 because of the World Cup. You take him now before he goes and someone buys him for 50 million. Because I'm telling you, his game is so mature. He doesn't lose the ball. And he can break lines with his passing. And this is a player that's played out wide. He's done that Elliott kind of transition where he was a wide player and he's come into midfield. And look, they're all roughly the same age.
Yeah, they're all 18, 19, aren't they?
I know he's playing levels above. He was really, really good. And the fact that he hasn't come off, like he stayed on for large parts of the game. Adams, another one.
He was my favourite today.
Adams, talk about a DM. Talk about a DM. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And these players, I'm sorry, a lot of them don't get the hype. They don't get Serginho. Not even Serginho Dest, because look, he had a decent game. Anthony Robinson at left back.
Yeah, I was impressed with him.
He was impressive.
Yeah, he was a decent.
Impressive. Like, you're talking about needing a backup, someone that's like, listen, really, really good player. The US, listen, once they start taking stuff serious, it's going to be difficult for the European teams because of the size of the country and the amount of investment that goes into the stuff they want to do. And you've seen it. You see it. They want to be the best at this. They just become the best. And look, Gary made a fair point. In 4 years' time, how good is this team going to be?
If they stay together. They could be a dangerous side in 4 years. But this England team should be a dangerous team right now. And the problem is we're not allowed to be. We're not allowed to be because, unfortunately, like Musa and all that today, I think we're fantastic, no doubt about it. And Adams, fantastic. But the difference today is, though, the American coach let them two play their natural game. Play your natural game. Play your natural game. Show the world what you can do. We don't let our players do that, unfortunately. They are cemented down in roles that they have to play. It does my head in. You got something. I'm not like Musa's a great player. Is he better than Bellingham? I don't think so. I've seen Bellingham for Dortmund, England. I've seen this kid and in Champions League games, run games against Man City because he's allowed to do his work. The problem is, Southgate's got all this back to front, right? Because he's playing Kane. I've been saying this for a while. England would do better if Kane weren't in the team. I've been saying it for a while now because the way we want to play. So if you're playing Kane, he drops so deep, then what's the point of playing Mason Mount? Because Mason Mount can't get into positions on the pitch because Kane's in the way. So Mason Mount can't get into them positions.
And what we didn't
Can't get into them positions. Bellingham's got no room to run into.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's weird because in that first half, that's what Bellingham, against Iran anyway, that's what Bellingham was doing. So as Mount was dropping off, he was going in behind Kane, and Kane was able to go and play those passes, and you saw what flood in the box, what England were, Right now, though, it doesn't look great. And what I've seen from Bellingham is that he's not a player that he can't break down teams.
No, he's your box to box. He's your box to box,
but
energy player.
Yeah, but even Gerrard could break down teams.
Yeah, but he's generated.
I know. No, but sorry, but I'm giving this props because this is the player that people are comparing him to.
It's not fair on Bellingham.
No, it's not fair. And yes, it was one performance, but when you needed a bit of, you know what, let's see if I can break the team down. Grealish actually done that a bit better.
Yeah, look, I agree. Grealish came on, did well. But Jerry, I said this against Iran, and Gio in the chat, and everyone was going, Jamie, you're talking rubbish. Did you not watch us ago? We won 6. We put 6 goals past Iran. I said it against Iran. The performance weren't great. You take away Saka's 2 goals against Iran. I've watched that game back. Did nothing in the game.
Yeah.
And again, did nothing in the game today. Now, are these players not as good as we hype them up to be? Or are they being suffocated by a system that Southgate's playing?
You know what?
That's the question.
You know what? I understand. Look, the system's there, and you can argue that it suffocates. Players and the likes of Trent can't get into the team. Foden obviously not starting. Grealish not starting. Maddison probably wouldn't have started even if he was fit.
It's mad.
But there was no. Sorry, even Portugal are a very pragmatic team. Very, very pragmatic team. You'll see a Bernardo Silva just say, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing. Not my own thing, but within that structure, I'm still going to go and do something to go and change the pan of the game.
I agree. Yeah. I don't think English players have it in them.
No one did that. No one. And for me, that falls back onto the players. Because, yes, the system's there, but when it's easy, when the pressure isn't on, you can pump San Marino 7-0. In a Nations League game, you can pump Iran 7-0, but when the pressure's actually onto you now, you know what? Show us why you're different. Come clutch, do something a bit different. A lot of the time, it's only when I think of England, it's only Grealish really trying to get the ball from deep, running at players, committing players, because that is his game.
Yeah, Foden would do exactly the same thing, I think, if he was given the chance.
Exactly,
but
everyone else, but even Foden, we've seen it even for England. When the chips are down, or he hasn't come alive like the way he does at a City game or at a City team, and they haven't got a player that can go and do that. And we're starting to see that although these English players, yes, they're really, really good and have achieved more than the so-called golden generation, within their respective teams, they're still maybe bar a Kane because of the way he plays.
System.
I know, but they're not those guys. They're not the guys. Like, do you know what I mean? They're not the, Bellingham's in that team, and yes, he's there. But who was there beforehand? It was Haaland still. There was someone else coming top trumps, and yes, within the team, you're going to look great. We've seen Henderson within our team. We can see it because we're Liverpool fans. It's like, within the team, he's great, and you can go and deliver some quality moments. But when the chips are down, it's like, go on. You do something for us.
That's where the world-class players come from, though. That is where the world-class players come from.
Exactly. Trippier, great example. He's having a great season at Newcastle, of course. But it's the players around him. Look at Almiron playing really well. You've got Callum Wilson playing really well. Do you know what I mean? You've got other players. You've got Willock coming in playing really well. The defense playing. It's all these components. And I'm looking at it. I didn't see one midfielder. And we speak about, do you know what I mean, Musa saying, you know what, is he better than Bellingham? We haven't seen Musa like that. Let's be honest.
No.
Playing for a Valencia team, week in, week out in Spain, playing week in, week out. We don't go and watch that league. We don't.
No, that's very true.
First of all, he's not English. And second of all, he's not out of Dortmund. Valencia aren't a
Is he even American with that name, Musa?
No, he's Ghanaian originally.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, he's Ghanaian originally. Ghanaian. He used to play for the Arsenal academy.
I knew. I've heard
another one that could have played for England, but do you know what I mean? He's decided to go abroad, and
I don't blame him.
Yeah, and I mean,
he would have been sacrificed today. He wouldn't be playing today if he was English.
No,
he wouldn't have been in this today. And we got to change, man. This England team, I've been saying it forever. there's something about England that's gone through generations. Because I look at John Barnes, yeah. John Barnes, one of the greatest wingers I've ever seen play. You know, scored 20 goals a season for Liverpool in a 4-4-2 at a left wing. And he was the man. He wasn't about the play. He was the man. Came for England. He wasn't the same player.
Yeah.
There is something about Steven Gerrard.
Not the same.
For me, the best English midfielder of all time, in my opinion. Never done it properly for England because they didn't have the guts to drop him or Lampard and make a team work properly. You know, didn't have the guts to do it. And this has always been the problem with England. It's always been the problem with England. We don't let our quality players shine. Wayne Rooney's only ever got 2 World Cup goals, and he's a great footballer. We don't let our best players shine, and we never will. Foden, there is no reason. You've got a 1-11. You've got America and Iran in your first 2 games at a World Cup. There is no reason why Trent ain't playing, why Foden ain't playing, why these quality, creative footballers in your team aren't playing. It's a joke. You want to go later down the line when it gets more serious and you don't want to play them players, fair enough. You want to go to a different system, I've got it. But against it's just, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Harry Kane, though, we got to start talking about him. We can't just talk about Harry Kane as, he's going to be England's top goal scorer of all time. I don't give a shit about who top international players are. I don't really care because if you go back and look at their goal scoring record, it's all against Estonia and Luxembourg and you know what I mean, and San Marino and stuff like that. It's all stat padding in international football. Don't really care about that stat. But for me, he's not a striker anymore. He is not an out-and-out striker, and he can't create his own goals. He's not even a Darwin Núñez, say. Darwin Núñez can create his own goals. I'll go that far. Harry Kane can't. He needs to be fed. But the problem is, if he wants to be fed and to score goals, Harry Kane's got to be in a position to be able to receive the ball. I saw him today pick the ball off Maguire. What is he doing now? Seriously. What has Callum Wilson got to do? I thought this game would have been perfect for Callum Wilson to come on.
Yeah.
Runs off the shoulder. He would stretch the game.
Stretch
the game. Yeah. Kane likes to come towards the ball. Sterling. Why does Sterling come towards the ball now and don't stretch no more? What's happened there? He just comes towards the ball now. He's not interested in running in behind anymore. So Sterling's doing that and Kane's doing that. It's quite easy for teams if you've got a pretty decent midfield and a decent setup at the back to control England. And America did that today. It's so easy to do. I'm getting sick and tired of this. I really am. Because I look at this England team, I look at the players we got available, and they're being wasted, in my opinion. They're being wasted. Same as the golden generation. They got wasted as well because coaches weren't strong enough and powerful enough to control the egos in that team and drop players that should have been dropped to make the team better. It's always been the same with England, and it always will be. We lost the midfield battle to America. Let that sink in.
I mean, what you're saying is facts. I mean, we're looking at a Harry Kane that, unfortunately, look, if you're gonna play the likes of a Harry Kane, you need Sterling and you need Saka to just be making runs in behind like Son does. You do, but they don't. But then, as you said, you don't need a Mount. You don't need a Mount in there because he's not really occupying the strikers. I mean, the centre backs. I've got to say though, Tim Ream, that centre back's good. He's a quality centre back.
Is he a Fulham player, or am I thinking someone else?
He's a Fulham player. He's a
Fulham player.
Yeah, and I didn't realize. I'm like, where did he come from? I've seen him for Fulham, and I thought he was decent. He's coming. He's really. I think he's outstanding. To be fair, in both games, he's been outstanding, and he's been let down by Zimmerman, who's obviously plays in the MLS, and he's a bit more. He's got that bozo gene in him. He's the Gomez equivalent, but Ream's solid in the air, really good.
Yeah,
distribution back, really good. The shape of the US, I was so impressed with. That was so disciplined.
Yeah,
so
beautiful.
Disciplined.
Pressed our midfield all match.
What did Declan Rice do?
I think he looked like he was
Like,
in cement today. He looked like his
do you know what I
rice.
mean?
He looked like his rice boiled over. Actually, that's what it
Yeah,
looked
it
like.
looked like the rice pudding.
He looked like it boiled over and got a bit soggy. He was
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
stuck, man. His mobility might be an issue. I didn't think that till before today when I actually saw him around athletic midfielders of the same age. And we're not talking about we're not talking about England's midfield is like 30 years old. You know, it's a young midfield going up against another young midfield. But the athleticism in difference was stark. You know, Adams, he's more athletic than Rice. It's as simple as that. And it's not a horrible thing to say. I think Declan Rice is a good footballer. But Adams is more athletic. He can get around the pitch a little bit better. Rice can't turn. I didn't realise that till today. He can't actually turn on the ball. I always thought he could for West Ham, but obviously it was Souček making the difference. And it's just there's a lot of things today watching that game. I realised that I've overhyped some of these players and overrated a lot of footballers because, as you say, there's no one who decided that, like, you know what, I'm going to take this game over because this is United States and you lot are embarrassing me. Yeah. You know what I mean? There isn't that player in this team. There isn't. And if there are, they're on the bench because Trent will cost England games. Yeah, we drew 0-0 with America and he weren't playing. Come on.
Yeah,
you won't take creativity out of our team. Maguire was our best player. Again, let that soak in. Done with it, man. I
mean, look at RJ. I mean, saying, look, the world at large is mostly in agreement. English players are and have always been made to look good by their foreign counterparts. I mean, and that's what we're seeing when they come together as a collective. And it's even the golden generation. Do you know what I mean? It's like, of course, great players, but there's always the argument with Gerrard, Jabi Alonso. Do you know what I mean? Like there is that argument, and what you're seeing is that they and I know, of course, they're different players, and of course they're able to go and shine. I mean, you got Kane, but then you got the argument of Son. Do you know what I mean? Like all these players now is like,
you're right. You are right.
Are these players helping each other? They're helping each other out because what we're seeing is that on an international stage, for example, Pulisic right now, he stood up. Yeah, he didn't go and get the goal, but he stood up and said, "You know what? I'm going to try performing for Chelsea." And he hasn't really had the chance like that. He's not been great. He's not been great. He's failed to kind of, do you know what I mean?
He was busy today. But with Gerrard thing, like you're saying there, when I always look back at that old time with England and look at it, I'm like, how did you not just go with Michael Carrick and Gerrard in midfield? You know, Gerrard's better than Lampard, and Michael Carrick is an excellent sort of like DM kind of midfielder. How we didn't do that, I don't know. Or play both of them and have Carrick in between them. You know, what coaches and managers are paid to do is get the best out of their team humanly possible, right? And when I look at England, because people go, Gareth Southgate made a final and a semi-final last two tournaments. Yeah, and we played no one till we got to them stages, then we bottled it. So that's just, where was Kane? Where was this superhero, Harry Kane? Everyone keeps telling me about that. You're not allowed to slag off. He's UK Superman. You can't say anything about him. He's getting the freedom of London for some reason, right? And you can't say nothing about him. When does he step up against big teams? Someone tell me.
I don't know.
There you go. It's just, it's just getting. We need to change something up. And this Southgate's got this thing about we must play out from the back really slowly. I don't want, and he's comparing us to Brazil and shit. It's like, what you? No.
And what I don't really like with this whole thing is the commentators, the pundits. They're so biased because listen, when who was it? When Brazil were playing and they were playing kind of a measured approach in that first half yesterday, it was Brazil don't look that great. They don't look that effective.
They're just working out the team.
Exactly, but it's like they're not impressive at all. I mean, we're seeing here. When England are playing this measured approach, it's England are playing really well, tactically, just not really giving away too much. They're confident knowing that the US aren't going to do it. The US were all over England, all over.
That's not giving away too much. We're playing America.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's like half time when they did the England's chances, yeah. At half time, they're going, these are good chances, yeah. No, they're not. Don't look at the 2 American chances that should have scored. They were better chances. You know what I mean? Let's stop all this BS all the time. I feel like Gary Neville is only the real one. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I look at Gary Neville and he actually comes out with some things sometimes. I'm like, you know what? He's actually right. I don't like the guy, but he's actually right. You know, Stones and Maguire seem like a good back two. Luke Shaw, oh, for God's sake, when it comes out against someone decent, Luke Shaw's going to get cremated. And Trent and Trippier, I look at Trippier and I think Trippier's one of them players. Do you know what Trippier is? He's okay at everything. You know what I mean? He's okay defending. He's okay going forward. He's okay at passing. So he's safe. When I look at Trent is exceptional at being creative. He's got exceptional ability on the ball, and he's probably okay defending. I don't think Trent's defending is much in it. Really don't. I thought Trippier was awful today at the defensive work. Awful. But you won't hear it because of the agenda. And I blame the pundit. I blame the media for that, by the way. I have never seen a footballer, a defender, get questioned and interviewed about his defending before a football game, like they do with Trent. I've seen Maguire be absolutely awful for 2 years for Man United and never get questioned once about his defending. The best defending Maguire ever did was in Greece for his sister. That was it. You know, that is the best defending I've ever seen Maguire do. But as a player, no, man. I'm sick of the biasness. We've got so much creative talent in this team that are not allowed to show their creativity. It's like telling telling a world-famous artist, yeah, right, telling Da Vinci, right, you can't paint this ceiling, man. You can't paint this ceiling. You're going to have to do it by dot to dot. You know what I mean? Or something like that. We can't let you use your creativity. Don't be stupid. You know what I mean? Why do we do that in this country? Why do we, every England team I've ever seen growing up in major tournaments, we don't let our creative players shine. We always have to drag them back and make sure you defend well in a 4-4-2. You know, you don't get too far forward. You fullbacks don't go past the halfway line. You know, you wingers stay wide. Don't get too involved. You know, it's like Mason Mount. If he's playing the 10 and Kane's coming deep, Mason Mount should be in the box.
Yeah,
he should be getting ahead of Harry Kane.
They need to swap position. That's what it is.
But it's obviously what I was watching because I see Mate do that for Chelsea when strikers used to come deep and he would get into the box ahead of them. So he can do it. So that tells me it's Southgate telling him not to do that because he'll give up his space in midfield and he's worried about giving up space in midfield.
Yeah.
Then you've got two options. Don't play him and play someone who won't do that so you don't have to give that order, or play a proper striker who's going to play on the shoulder of a defender from now on.
And play two up top. You might as well play two up top.
Yeah, exactly. Callum Wilson up top. Harry plays with him. Harry comes deep. Callum Wilson then stretches the defence. Harry comes deep, who has got that pass. It'll probably work better, but he just won't do it. Yeah. He just won't do it. It's a shame. It's a real shame.
It's actually a grassroots issue, though. It's a grassroots issue. The only way
down, man.
No, but exactly. But the only way you kind of just solve that is it's two ways, isn't it? It's either you start from the ground up and you change the way grassroots football is played, or you get a manager in like a Pep to go and manage England. But then we know what happens there when you get a foreign manager there and he's going against the grain of what the FA do and what the grassroots football does and all this type of thing. Then there's always commotion there as well. So until that happens, England are going to be problematic. I think their set pieces weren't great today either. I think usually they're much more threatening from set pieces, and I did say that will probably be their route to the tournament. And I know I had them as finalists. I'm probably going to have to revise that. But yeah, I mean, let's get into the game before that. What game was that? That was the Netherlands game, if I'm correct.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Gakpo scores again.
Oh.
Ecuador, unlucky, really. Unlucky.
Better team.
Much better team. Enner Valencia, again, getting the goals. Hit the bar a couple of times. I don't know. Ecuador are an interesting team. I think they're slowly becoming a dark horse where they're entering into that conversation because they're able to score goals. They're playing quite. They play it's an interesting game. They don't look necessarily that interesting, but they're very industrious in midfield. They've got a lot of energy in and around the team, and they've got someone.
They're Liverpool.
Goals. Exactly, and they can go against. I mean, they've got someone that can get them goals. Caicedo had a much better game in this game than he did in the opening game against Qatar. Yeah, they just look really impressive. The Netherlands look really poor. I think really, really poor. I mean, I'm gonna look G's in the comments.
I don't get this because I thought Virgil was immense today. I don't get that.
I think he was. Look, I think he was decent.
Tackle, get stuck in, and then Ake let him down.
I think the problem you've got with Virgil right now is he's not going back to that. He's not going back to that level that he was. He's the level that he used to be at before the injury. He's never going back to that level. I think it's looking very evident because he's trying.
It's very hard to get back to that level. Right?
No. Of course it is, but you hope that he does because that's the Virgil that we know. It's once you've been given a taste of that, and it wasn't a taste. It was 2 seasons. It's 2 seasons of just that type of form. When he doesn't do that, he looks average. Not average, but he looks human now. And I think now, he's rushing out, but he's getting turned. And this is the stuff that you see with centre-backs day in, day out, and they're decent centre-backs. But
he gets turned, Virgil, but then his pace, he gets back in position and nothing happens. So this is my thing with the old Virgil thing. I think people are looking at Virgil now and thinking he's Superman, right? And can do everything. He had probably the single greatest centre-back year I've ever seen from a defender, when in my opinion, he should have won the Ballon d'Or. I literally think he should have won the Ballon d'Or that year when he finished second. Even Messi said he should have won the Ballon d'Or, right? That was the single greatest 12 months I've ever seen from a centre-back ever. It was just amazing. Can he get back to that level again? Probably not, because that level is ridiculous, yeah? Now, today what I saw from Virgil, he was getting stuck in, where people complain that he hasn't got stuck in for Liverpool all season, winning tackles, winning headers. Yes, he gets turned, yeah? He gets turned, right? But what I don't mind about it is that nothing happens after it. Like, he gets turned, his pace gets him back into position, and nothing comes from it. So it's not a problem. It means he defended well. He defended his space really well today. And unfortunately, the goal, Ake let him down, man. Ake didn't follow his man.
I think with the goal, though, I think there is an argument to suggest. I know I'm Virgil's biggest fan. I don't even want to have to get my framed picture of him. That I mean, used to be my bedside table. They used to wake up to every morning. But he's got to close that ball down. He's the guys in the box.
Do you know camera angles make it look weird? He's actually further and away, people think.
No. I know, but he's got to try and close that distance because he's got to hurry that shot up. Because what he does is the player takes a touch, takes another touch to set himself and shoots. That's too much. The guy's not, outside the box. I'm someone that I agree with defending space, and I'm like great. You know, that's your job. A great example, the Lautaro Martinez goal at Anfield. Didn't close him down, and he scored that screamer. I don't have any qualms with that because that's a 1 in a million shot. You've got Alisson at the back, and you're like, you trust your keeper. If you trust your keeper, it's like, go on, shoot from here then, because you're going to give away possession.
I think that's what Virgil did today. I think that's what Virgil did today. Trust his keeper from a distance.
The problem is the guys in the box for me, and that's the same criticism I'd go and give to Maguire. Maguire, as a great example today, if we go use that as a spin-off today, you saw who was running at him. Weah was running at him. Was it Weah? Or Serginho Dest. It was Dest. Dest was running at him. He's dropping off, defending the space. As soon as he comes into the box, he gets out to him and gets a touch on it that stops that ball going on in and goal. And those fine margins are what are going to cost you. Yes, Ake went and could have potentially stepped up, but in that position when the shot's been coming and it's just rocketed off the thing, I can't blame anyone there. The only critique is it's not a blame. He didn't have a shocking howler of a game. But if I'm just being really particular, especially because he's our centre back, he's got to get out there because he's inside the box.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
He's probably the best at defending space. He's the best at defending space. And the thing is, I say that because I've seen Virg do that. I've seen Virg drop off with an Mbappe, drop off. As soon as Mbappe looks like he's going to shoot or he steps inside the box, he closes him down there. He's like, nope, you're not doing that. We've seen that from Virg. I've seen it plenty of times. He's dropping off. As soon as you get to the edge of the box, boom, he steps in. And it's just the things cut out. Inside the box for me, it's a bit. Do you know what I mean? But yes, on the flip side, I saw there was a couple shots that came in. He was there. Do you know what I mean? Defending it away with his head up, with his head. He was in the right spaces. Like big up to Marquez. This is exactly it. He was better than he was against Senegal. He was, and I've got to go and give him his props. It's just that one little thing is just.
I mean, it's just the thing with Virgil. I think it's always going to be the problem, like. Because he had that great year where we said he should have won the Ballon d'Or, and it was just we've never seen a defensive display like it. And then the year after, he was still decent, even though he came down a little bit. He was still head and shoulders above everyone, And then since his injury, that injury, let's face it, was career threatening 20 years ago. So he's never going to get back to that level. So I know Verge. I've heard Verge do interviews before. He hates giving away corners, don't he? That's why he don't always block shots down. Because he hates giving away corners a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, Ake not following his runner is criminal. It's just criminal. Especially when Ake's got the whole thing, he can see everything happening, right? He can see where Virgil is, and he can see his defender right next to him. And if he thinks like Virgil's not going to get a block on this, I've got to just make sure because the keeper's going to save it because I can see by the position, but it's going to rebound. I've just got to make sure I'm in front of my attacker here, and we're safe. I can pull it out for a corner. So. Yeah, Ake's awful, man. I don't know how he's actually playing football, but it's just. I
think he's decent. I think in that situation, look, there was a couple of times Ake actually done really well. Those balls over the top, he was winning them last ditch and everything. He done quite well in that situation. I'm just thinking like of myself as a centre back. When that shots come in, a lot of the times you're expecting, and especially this high level football, you're expecting, especially where they were in the box. It's either going to go in, it's going in on goal, or the keeper's saving it. The way it's rocketed off the post, Ake hasn't even got time to react. Like he would have had to have what you're expecting from, and you do expect it from a centre back.
He should have followed his runner.
To be switched on all the time. But I've seen a similar thing happen with Verge earlier on in the season where Gomez
we asked him for it.
Exactly, but you remember when Gomez passed the ball to Alisson, and Alisson was in the wrong place, and Verge was just kind of expecting, well, this is where. It's those split seconds, and I think they're both at fault. To be fair, for that goal.
Yeah, but I just think Ake's shit. I just don't know how he plays for Holland. I mean, if De Ligt weren't just as crap as he was, like De Ligt is the most overrated centre back I've ever seen in my life. It's just like again with like Virgil, I'm like again with Liverpool this season and with Holland, he's the main man. That's the case, but he doesn't have a partner that they can trust with him. And that's the problem at the moment. Like they play 3 at the back, they play 4 at the back today. Liverpool, it's either Matip, Gomez, or Konate. You've got if you're going with your main man, then you've got to play someone alongside them that's your pertinent player. And if it's going to be Ake, then they just got to go Ake at the 4 at the back, keep it like that, let them grow as a partnership, and they get better as a tournament. But Holland's problem is further up the pitch. They're jank.
Yeah, and we can talk about that because look, bar De Jong in that midfield, Holland are really lacking. Really lacking.
He feels shit as well.
Yeah, he was rubbish. I don't know how he won man of the match today.
Who got man of the match? Gakpo?
No, it was FIFA have awarded De Jong with man of the match.
Oh, get out.
Yeah.
No, that is because the VIPs want to meet that player. That's what it is. So they give him man of the match. That's why all the big stars always give man of the match.
It was Ronaldo against Ghana.
When the VIPs go and get him, meet him, and have a.
It was De Bruyne in the Belgium game.
That's what it is. Right. That's all it is. But De Jong, no, I'm not having this Frankie De Jong. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it.
Him in general, or
I don't get the hype.
Oh well, no, he's a very good.
People talk about him like he's the Messi of centre mids. Do you know what I mean? He's a very.
What you're saying is, look, if you swap Pedri out for De Jong in this game, it would have been 10 times as worse. I think like it's one of those ones where the style of midfielder he is, you need other midfielders. No, you need other midfielders on his wavelength. It's like if England, it's like if England went and got Gavi in and just put Gavi in their midfield, Gavi and Rice, Gavi would look like. Do you know what I mean a fish out of water? It would all look horrible.
Yeah.
It is one of those ones for me. But I mean, he went great. Their midfield's really, really bad. Gakpo, he scores again. And look, the Netherlands, they showed that bit of quality where they're kind of breaking lines, just sort of passing. Do you know what I mean? It was quite incisive. Yes, they got a bit of luck. But after that goal, Ecuador all over them.
Ecuador quality. That fullback that plays for Ecuador, the right back, the right back.
The right back. Oh,
yeah. He is fun, man. He plays like he's 10. I love it.
Yeah, he does.
I just love it, man. And the left back who plays for Brighton.
Estupinan, yeah.
Yeah, I can never pronounce his name. Yeah, he was good today. But Ecuador, I think, are becoming the fans' favourite a little bit.
Yeah, they are.
I think they're going like the people's team, ain't they? They're a fun team to watch.
Yeah, it's that was it. Sorry, it was Preciado. That was the right back. Yeah, he does play like he's. I mean, he's. Young.
I just love his enthusiasm to everything. He's volleying everything.
Yeah. It was great. It was great to watch.
Lovely.
Yeah, they were really good. I mean, Gonzalo Plata on the right side come in, hit the crossbar, a wonderful shot. Holland are. I mean, look, it's really weird because it's tournament football, and what you're seeing from Holland is that in 2 games where they haven't really performed well, and they haven't really got to grips with the tournament as of yet, in comparison to Spain will probably go and see that will win their next game, or some other teams, even England. That beat
Iran. They can't go through. That's the
what
thing, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean? We're going to win the World. England are winning the World Cup. They're trudging along, and although they played poorly, they didn't lose.
No, I just don't see them beating a France or a Spain or anything like that.
I don't. But the problem is, if they can still play really poorly and just be defensively solid and then nick a goal in the way Gakpo did, that's the type of things that we've seen teams go through tournaments like this. In Greece, do you know what I mean, in the Euros, they managed to go through a tournament like that. Do you know what I mean? So it is a weird one.
It could be a Holland-England star 16, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I've got a feeling England go finish runners up in the group somewhere. So I think England go draw to Wales, and United States are going to smash Iran. I'll go smash Iran. We'll go finish second in this group. Yeah. I wouldn't mind actually playing Holland. I'd actually rather play Holland than Ecuador right now.
Yeah, I think it's a he might as well.
One, ain't it? It's a weird one. America. Look, I've watched a lot of Dutch football. Everyone grew up watching Dutch international teams because they're the exciting team, ain't they, in football? Everyone loves watching Dutch football till now, and they've got no strikers. This is awful. Gakpo. I don't want this Gakpo hype. This is.
I don't get it. I know
plays average, man. He plays average.
Don Hussam from This Is Football is raving about him. He's in my
average. He won't get in Liverpool's team. I don't know where he gets in. Tell me where he gets in.
Listen, I think the only way he gets in somehow is if he's converted into a striker and he plays as a striker. And I think today what you saw,
I'd have Bobby over him still.
Listen, I'm not going to disagree with you on that. But what I'm saying, I think Van Gaal's actually just watched the World Cup show, which he probably did.
Yeah, he watched us the other day, didn't he?
And he heard you and said, you know what, Gakpo down the middle actually might make a bit more sense. And what we saw is actually Bergwijn and Gakpo. Bergwijn actually played on the left of a front two. And Gakpo.
They were like wide forwards, weren't they?
Yeah. In the 10, and they tried to go a bit more direct. Now, it seemed to work in that first half, but once Ecuador kind of understood what was going on, they again just overrun that Holland midfield. And that Holland midfield, yes, they've got decent technical ability. You've got Koopmeiners, you've got Berghuis, you've got De Jong, but they haven't got the legs that they used to have before in years gone by.
None of their midfielders run by anyone, do they?
Exactly. And that's the problem. You've got De Jong that can do that in terms of glide past a midfielder, but because he's the deepest man, because they want to go and control possession, he can't go and vacate that space, which means that they've got these hard runners in terms of Berghuis and Koopmeiners, but they haven't got runners that are nippy and can get about. And what you saw is that the Ecuadorian midfield was swarming all around that midfield. Caicedo popping up on the left side of the midfield, running with the ball, and they couldn't really get near the Ecuadorian team. And Ecuador, look, they'd probably be disappointed they couldn't get the 3 points, because if they got the 3 points, look, they're through. Do you know what I mean? They're through. Probably can rest some players. Now the group is still a bit. Do you know what I mean? They've got to make
Senegal game's going to be interesting, man.
Exactly, because Senegal now obviously got the 3 points, and look, that's a great segue. Might as well talk about Senegal now. Senegal, Qatar. Qatar. I mean, look.
Anyone shocked?
Yeah, probably the poorest team. Look, they're the first team to get knocked out of the competition. Weren't particularly positive, or they didn't really want to go for the game until they were 1 or 2-0 down.
Mm.
Then they did, and when they did, credit to them. Look, that they started to try do some things.
Should have had a penalty.
I'm surprised their goal scorer Mohamed Muntari didn't start because he scored in the last game.
Mm.
They went with Ali Alouz again, who
Yep.
I mean, he had a better game than he did in the first game. Had actually a couple chances where he could have scored, but Muntari looked a goal threat straight away.
Yeah.
Scored again, great header, decent little player. I'm happy. I'm happy for Qatar that they got to score. I think it was more of a kind of a token gesture. Look, Qatar have managed to score in the World Cup. No, but I mean, but it could have easily been. It could have easily been there could have been a host nation that just didn't score. And for Qatar, I think it's a step in the right direction in terms of playing football at this level. They haven't been able to go.
Yeah.
But it is
a Iran.
Exactly, it is a step. Got the fans kind of celebrating, but I mean, Senegal, they rest assured that they were going to get the 3 points, and it did look at one point, 2-1, could they come back? They made it 3-1, and it was just like, cool. Yeah. A more assured performance from Mendy in this game. Did you watch that game?
If he had a shocker against Qatar, it would be there'd be a lot of problems, wouldn't there? Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
Qatar. It's a shame that they're the earliest a home nation has ever gone out of a World Cup. But as you say, it's a learning curve for them. I think they've been together since June as well, getting ready for this World Cup. So, it's a learning curve for them. I remember when Iran made their first ever World Cup, and Iran looked like quite an all right team now. So maybe Qatar just got to follow Iran's way. They did it. Get some players. Try and get some of these players playing in Europe. Even at low-level European teams, just give them a little bit of try and get some quality out there. It's going to be hard for them because Qatar is a tiny country, man.
And that's what it is, and that's why Qatar, because they're so tiny, it will be difficult for them. But I think them having that exposure, I think you can even see with the kind of the fans and that type of thing. They're a young footballing nation. So football's not necessarily ingrained within the society, and they're trying to go and grow that within the Middle East. You hear the Saudi owners talking about that, saying, look, we're doing exchange programs. We want football to become a big industry within our communities. Qatar's trying to go and do that, but you can still see the fans kind of just leave after 50 minutes, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to do."
They're like, "What's this shit?"
They haven't got that affinity with
exactly.
But that's understandable. But I think over time, them getting that goal up, it actually means a lot for that Qatari team. And look, if they were to be able to come out and win in their final game against the Netherlands, which would just be ridiculous, if they'll manage to even put up a performance there, that will probably mean it'll probably mean more for them than just going through. I think.
Yeah, well, hopefully they give up the Dutch a game. Now they know they're out, and they can just let's play with a bit of pride and actually have a let's just unleash it and just see what we can do for 90 minutes. If we get beat, we get beat. It's a learning curve for us. But look, it was always going to be the case for Qatar. Unfortunately, they're, as you say, their fan base. The problem with Qatar is all the kids in Qatar and the people who like football really watch the world stars and European stars and the European leagues. They're watching your Madrids weekly. They're watching your Liverpools, Uniteds, your PSGs. They want to watch Mbappe's and Ronaldo's and Messi's of the world. So are they interested in Qatar football? Are they interested in their own football? So it's going to be hard for them growing in the future. But I hope everyone grows in football. It's the greatest sport in the world. Everyone in the world table will play it.
I think once they get a couple of those players, as you said, Jamie, that's a massive point, get playing in Europe. You look at Iran as an example. They've got Taremi, who plays for Porto. They've got Jahan Bach, who obviously played for Brighton as a recently. They've got a few players that play in and around the Premier League, which means that when they go back home, it's like, oh, look, he plays for a big team, and that kind of gets the popularity booming. With these Qatari players, I mean, Bar Afif, who used to play for Sevilla but didn't really make the grade. He was there as a youngster. He's the only one where there's a bit of hype around him, and you can kind of see it when he gets on the ball and stuff. But it's still not to that. It's not to that.
They need 2 or 3 like that.
Exactly.
They're poster boys that they can make things of. Not Salah for Egypt. Not Salah for Egypt.
Exactly. Egypt, look, they're not the greatest at the moment. I mean, they used to have a great team. Right now, it's just about Salah. But look, they've got a poster boy. You've had teams in the past. Look at Gabon as an example. Gabon, they've got Aubameyang. Do you know what I mean? Aubameyang, main player, it gets the country going, and it kind of inspires people to want to go and engage with football. So, I mean, hopefully that works out for them. I mean, Senegal, I mean, look, RJ's right. The AFCON champions, they don't look that great in comparison.
No,
do you know what I mean?
They don't. I just think
Senegal and Mane look dull and Ghana are more exciting. And it's this game, I don't know how to judge it, because in the first game against the Netherlands, I didn't think they looked dull. I actually think they looked quite exciting. And there was actually an argument made on the show saying, look, are Senegal better without Mane? Because they're not relying on him as much. So they're not giving the ball at every opportunity and standing around idle saying, Mane, win us the game. What they're doing now is just seeing Sarr was getting in behind, Diato's trying to make things happen, and they actually look more threatening than a poor Netherlands side. And
we said if Kane weren't playing for us. Yeah.
Exactly. So you did see that. But look, in this game, they did look dull, but they also were 2-0 up in 20 minutes. Half. I mean, so...
But was it the opposition they're playing? This is the thing.
No, exactly. But once you score those 2 goals, you probably take your pedal off the gas because you know.
Yeah, you would do. Look, you don't need to get third, do you? You're playing Qatar. It's over, ain't it?
Exactly. And once they went and conceded, they just went up the gears again, scored the third goal. And it was all right. Now we're outside.
Yeah, they could score when they wanted. I think. I think that's the sort of game it was. And when you got that sort of game, it can be really dull. You know, if you go 2-0 up quick, and. I think it was like they got to go
fight back from the team that they weren't.
Yeah, pressing, Qatar have not got it in them to, go toe to toe with you. So you can lean off a little bit, and then when Qatar score, they're like, you know what, let's just put a little bit of distance between us again and get a third. And you could see that was the way they were thinking. But Senegal, I expected a load from. I don't know why. I watched a bit of the AFCON and I was impressed by Senegal. I really was. And looking at their players, they've got a lot of players that I think most of their players play in Europe. So they've got all playing top leagues as well for big sides. They're not playing for like Genoa. You know what I mean? They're playing for big teams. But again, I've been saying this for a while now with the AFCON nations and the Asian nations. The fact that they play against each other all the time in their own little bubble, I think affects them going forward. It's like, I think they said the other day when Senegal played Holland, that was the first European team they played since 2018.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
I mean, we say that, but I also think them because unlike a Qatar, for instance, or there was North Korea back in Brazil, where they just play amongst the players play in their respective countries. They've never experienced anything else. They played the odd team international week in, week out. Do you know what I mean? Or on the odd international break. But then when they come to a tournament, they're just, oh my God, we've never played against this. What you're seeing with Senegal is that, yes, they haven't played a European team necessarily.
European players.
But they've got players that play in the European League. And not only that, what happens is that their style and the way they play football in regards to like them as a nation is quite awkward for these teams. So what we're seeing from the US as an example is, yes, a lot of these players play in the European League, but they've adopted their own kind of style, very regimented. It looked like a basketball type of team when they're trying to control the paint in basketball. It was so regimented; they didn't allow anyone into the space, and you could see it was awkward for England. It was awkward because they can match you technically and in a physical level because they play with you week in, week out in the Premier League, in the Bundesliga, or in the Serie A. But when they come together, they've got their own style on it, and I think you see even with Brazil. Brazil, what they showed is, yeah, we can be pragmatic because a lot of our players play in Europe now. It's not how it was in the 50s where we all play in Santos. But we can still adopt our own style. And what you saw was when they were doing their combination play, it was, Brazil was on the map. So that's what it is. I think with the African teams as well, you even saw it with Ghana. Yes, they weren't great, but you saw two sides to Ghana. A pragmatic, more kind of European style where we're going to sit back, kind of control what you guys do. In the second half, yes, we conceded, but they went and tried to be a bit more expansive. And then you saw the style was a bit different because these players now are not necessarily, or the style was not necessarily something that you come up against every single week. So Marcelo's not used to coming up against a fullback that's quite awkward like Rahman, because he plays against someone that's a bit more refined. And
yeah. That's true.
I mean,
That's true.
But
they're doing well. These countries, there's a lot of these. A lot of the bigger countries are actually quite disappointing in this World Cup, in my opinion.
They are.
I mean, look, Germany lose to Spain on Sunday. Germany are out.
Listen,
and that'd be 2 World Cups in a row. They've not got out the group stage.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
With their squad.
I was having an argument with someone because they were actually saying that they feel Germany could actually win the tournament. They think they're going to be very just cutthroat. I mean, look, the thing about Germany, though, is they didn't play poorly. They did lose the game, but they didn't play poorly.
And that's a worry, though.
Yeah, that is a worry. But you could obviously, on the positive side, if you were a coach or if you're a player, you're thinking about that, saying, yes, we lost that game, but Gundogan hit the bar twice. Musiala, missed an open glaring chance.
They don't have the forwards either.
They don't have the forwards.
That's the thing going around the world now. I've been saying this for donkeys now.
Yeah.
It's the number 9 position, a dead position in football now, because think about where, apart from Haaland, how many new number 9s is there? It's actually an out-and-out number 9. Does nothing else in the game. It's just an out-and-out number 9.
Tony.
Yeah, and Ivan Toney. There ain't a lot. A lot of them want to be forwards, goal-scoring forwards, like your Salahs and your Manes.
Your Gakpos, your Salahs, your
Manes. They're all goal-scoring forwards. There's no real killers out there.
Even Nunes. It's like we've just got a wide forward now.
Yeah,
even
there's no killers.
In the middle.
There's no killers anymore. And a lot of these teams, you look at Germany, they haven't really got a killer up front. And you think of the German strikers in the past. The Dutch forwards, there's not really a killer up front for them anymore. Uruguay, you got a fat Suarez now, who just looks like he's been at the buffet a bit. It just, and Darwin Núñez is more of a I can play left, I can play through the middle.
Forward. He's a half forward. He's not really an out winger, but he's not really a number 9. He's somewhere in between.
I think what it is, people growing up now watching football want to be involved in every second of the game now. There used to be in a time growing up in football that a striker might never hardly touch a ball in a game, but then they get 2 goals.
Yeah,
and when you watch, and people don't want to do that no more. People want to be involved. So people want to be like these wingers, these attacking inside wingers that are on the ball all match and are creative and goal scoring and always involved.
Listen, that's why, and I said it yesterday. Richarlison, yes, he's an idiot as a person, but when you get him just doing that, he shows that he can do it. He's a goal scorer and he can do that. Yes, he can. He's probably got a bit more legs, and you can run around and you can play him out wide and he can do a decent job.
But he shouldn't.
Exactly, but he shouldn't because but obviously when he plays for Everton, I guess they're just saying, you know what, we need you just doing something, and that's probably where the most space is. But you can see for Brazil, I just stay within the widths of the goal. I go and occupy both centre backs, and I'm there to go and score my goals. And you can see it. Brazil, he scores all the goals because they've got the players.
That's why I got called up.
Exactly. So, look, talking about that group then, Qatar obviously dumped out, Senegal, Netherlands, and Ecuador.
Jesus.
Who's quick prediction? And I want you guys in the comments and chat as well. And guys, in the when you're watching this on the repeat, I know a lot of you guys do that as well. Make sure you're putting it in the comments. Who do you guys think tops that group and comes runners up? Because it's looking a tricky group at the moment, as are a lot of groups, to be fair.
Yeah, it's. I think Netherlands will top the group because they got to beat Qatar, but I don't think they're going to smash Qatar. I don't think they're going to smash them. I don't think it's going to be like a 4 or 5-0 or anything like that. I just don't think they've got the goal scorers to do it. But there's something about their defensive setup, though. How shaky did Holland get after Ecuador scored? They shit the bed. They literally shit the bed. If Ecuador get a surprise goal, Qatar get a surprise goal against Holland, if they get shaky like that again, you could be a little bit of trouble, I don't trust this Dutch team.
Imagine the Netherlands lost. Imagine they lost to Qatar.
That'd just be. I
don't know if you heard, but I know that all the Saudi Arabian players, they've all got
Rolls Royces, didn't they?
If the Qatari players manage to go and beat the Netherlands,
Yeah. No
Listen,
tax.
listen. No tax ever. I think they're all just getting $1 million. Just, I mean, you're seeing players like Pedro Miguel that randomly has received a Qatari citizenship.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Portuguese is now, do you know what I mean? A fully fledged Qatari member and a millionaire.
There's got to be something like that on the line, ain't there? You know it. There's got to be a bit of like, that's not the Dutch act. Come on, let's do it.
If not, it's
no, I can see. I think the Dutch will go through. I think it might be tight. I think the Dutch might be nervous as well because they know they need the point. And Qatar are already out, so I think the Dutch will be a bit nervous about that game. But I think they get the point or the goal. They only need 1 point, don't they? So to be through, 5 points should get you through. So, and
Ecuador,
then
Senegal, then that's
I think something tells me about Ecuador. It all depends if Thingy's fit because he went off, didn't he?
Valencia, yeah.
If he's not fit, then Senegal. If he's fit, I think Ecuador might nick it.
That's going to be really.
It could. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw. Yeah. Ecuador are hard to score against. Hard to score against.
Which means
Ecuador work really hard.
Yeah, could all go through that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then England, Ecuador probably.
Yeah,
but
looks quite interesting.
It's an interesting group. Some of these groups are more interesting than I thought they would be. I thought it'd be quite straightforward, you know.
A lot of them are. A lot of these groups
I thought it'd be quite straightforward, but it ain't.
Now, even look, the England group as an example. If England lose to Wales,
it should be done. This group should be done. England should have won today. It should be over.
I know.
But England have now got to beat Wales. And Wales are going to want to win that game, by the way. They're going to try everything.
Listen, that game is, if I'm basing it on what I've seen against the US, the Welsh team that playing week in, week out with these players, then are going to know exactly what Saka and Sterling are going to do. And it's going to be Bale. You're going to see a remontada from, what's his name? Joe Allen, the Welsh Pirlo. He's coming in. Do you know what I mean? He's come back from an injury. It's gonna be interesting. I think if England lose and Iran win, does that mean they're out?
I think if England lost to Wales and Iran beat America, I think England go out, yeah. Because Wales drew to America. Hang on. So America have got 2 points.
America need to win.
Yeah. Wales have got 1 point. So England have got 4 points. Iran have got 3 points. America have got 2 points, and Wales have got 1 point.
Yeah.
So yeah, 4-3-2-1.
Yeah, so basically the US have to win and Wales have to win for England to get knocked out.
Yeah. It's mad.
Or draw. Or draw. And it's, as it says, that's it, draw. And then England need a 4-goal swing. That's what would happen. That's exactly it. Yeah. Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, so these groups are looking tight. Last game of the day, the early kickoff. That's a great segue talking about Wales.
I didn't see this coming.
I did. I thought it would have been Taremi. I mean, he's a great player. He's a he's a very, very good player. Another one that just makes the right decision every single time.
Very good player.
Iran were all over Wales in this game.
Mm-hmm.
All over Wales.
Shocked, man.
Minute one, Wales didn't offer anything.
Yeah, didn't. Oh man, Wayne Hennessy trying to take someone's head off.
Bale, I didn't even realize was on the pitch.
It was a weird performance, wasn't it? It was a weird performance because you look at the draw now of America, and you're like, that's actually a decent point for Wales. Actually, you look at that now.
How did they get that? But when you think about it, it was just a penalty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't. They didn't really muster any chances. And I was saying on the show, the US should have won. I said they'll be hard done by. They're going to look at that game and think, damn, how did we scored that brilliant goal? How did we allow Wales to get back into it? How did we allow a Kiefer Moore to do what he did, receiving the ball really high up, 3 people on him, keeping the ball, bringing people into play? They tried to do the same thing today. The Iran weren't having it. that aggressive style of play. Carlos Queiroz.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing, man. He knows what he's doing.
Listen, it went literally. They went straight 4-4-2. Samu's playing, flicking the balls on. Taremi flicking the balls on. It was very, very standard. But
Taremi's a player, man.
He's really good.
I've known a bit of him, obviously, but again, like we were saying about Qatar, he's their poster boy. They got someone they can all, sit behind and love and build from there. And what he's doing now is producing. He's producing. He is a player. Tell you what, I think teams and scouts would have known of him for a long time, but I think they might be looking. I don't know how old he is now.
He's 28 or 26.
So he's a good age. He's a good age. And, a lot of teams might be looking at him, after this World Cup.
Yeah, what I don't get is, obviously we don't know what type of striker Liverpool wanted to go and get. So what were the requirements? But considering we wanted a player that's that kind of stereotypical number 9 that can link the play, that makes the right decisions, that can score goals as well, which is showing. I mean, he's in the company of all the best strikers that there are out there, like the best 10 or 15 strikers that are out. Surely that's someone that like one of these teams look at. Like, surely. Like, I don't understand. Sometimes I sit there and I don't understand. It's as if we shouldn't have to discover these types of strikers on a World Cup, or they shouldn't come to the fore because of a World Cup. These massive institutions, the clubs, the scouts, they should know about these players before we do. They should. We shouldn't be looking at these World Cup being like, oh, this player is really good, or Moose is really good, or it shouldn't be that. And I just don't. It's as if the scouting network go on YouTube and just search Wonder Kids, and then look, he's popular.
Football Manager Wonder Kids on Google.
And that's who he signed. And that's who these teams sign, because look, your talent's there. He hasn't just emerged; he's been on the scene.
Yeah, he's a good player.
You don't get those goals. It's not like he scored 10 goals and they're comparing him to the best 10 strikers out there, like right now. No. They're comparing it for the last 2 seasons. So what have people been doing? And I'm going to be honest, I heard of him. I didn't really know about him.
No, same.
So it's interesting. I mean,
the last 10 minutes of this game was mad.
It was crazy.
90th minute onwards.
Game, and I'm sorry to any Welsh fans. I'm really sorry, but I celebrated that goal. One deserved it. I think Iran deserved it. I think they were pushing for it. That red card from Hennessy, I mean, that killed them.
That was like an Undertaker big boot, wasn't it? What was he doing?
Man, it was a Sheamus. Yeah, Sheamus.
What was he doing? Why was he there in the first place? Secondly,
he's got a clean. Listen, I've seen Alisson do that a couple of times, but he catches the ball. He
finds you got
a connection with the ball. He didn't touch. He missed the ball.
No, he almost took the man's head off.
And I felt so sorry for Wales once that second goal went in.
Oh, I didn't.
That chip from the right back as well. That had an amazing game. It was just.
I look, the Welsh fans that I've seen the Welsh players celebrating that England lost the game that they weren't involved in. So, fuck them. You're going home. Piss off. And did you see all the Welsh fans when they come out the stadium trying to be interviewed by the ITV? They're all coming out. Like, don't talk to me sort of attitude. It's like, come on. I was in hysterics. I was in hysterics because they do it to us all the time. I don't care. Like, you should have beat Iran. Last 10 minutes was mad. Big up Iran, getting 3 points at a World Cup. Look, Iran have been around for a while now as an international team. Slowly but surely trying to progress as a nation. And look, Iran versus America, if it weren't big enough with all their history, it's with this game in charge. I mean,
the Americans are going to really, really the hell out of this. This is going to be. Do you know what I mean? We're doing this for our fallen soldiers. Do you know what I mean?
It's gotta be. Well, America are unbeaten in the Middle East. Don't forget.
Yeah, exactly. Unbeaten. That's exactly.
It's gotta be all that. It's gotta be all that. You gotta bring it, man.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, even just as a game, it's going to be so interesting to.
It is. I might actually watch that. I might actually watch that.
The US played. They've played well, but I've been impressed twice. But the first time they didn't get the result from Wales.
No.
And Iraq have beaten Wales. So
It's an interesting game, isn't it?
It's an interesting game. It's
Right.
an interesting game. But Iran, I mean, on the cusp of qualifying as well, they win this and they're through.
It's interesting. Sorry. Yeah.
No,
Sorry,
right.
1 minute. Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, they're through. They're through.
No.
It's ridiculous.
Sorry.
No worries. No worries. We're a family show. No, but it's ridiculous. It's so interesting. It's just so interesting.
I might watch that game instead of ads.
Yeah, you know what? It's one of the games I'm really looking forward to. I know it's the group that's
same time, ain't they?
But it is, and it's an interesting game.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I was Bale. I think there has to be question marks around him. Didn't do nowhere near enough. Kiefer Moore looked like miles ahead of him in terms of development as a player. And we're talking about Bale, that's been arguably one of the best players in the world, if not top 5.
I don't think Bale did anything much in the last game from me, but apart from getting the penalty.
No, he didn't. But at least once you get that moment, so you draw the foul and score the pen, it gets washed over. And I did say that, and it's the same thing you talk about Ronaldo, right? But Ronaldo, time and time again, somehow manages to go and just get the headlines and get the goal.
Yeah. Exactly.
If he's going to play, he's got to go and do that because for me, it was a bottle job to keep him on. I don't think he offered enough. I think they could have really went with Kiefer Moore up top, played Dan James and Brennan Johnson. I think Bell.
Yeah, that's the key. Is that the Forest geezer with all the pace?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good little player. He's a good little player.
Yeah, from Forest. I think they should have gone that because Kiefer Moore was keeping the ball a lot. Bell didn't get around him enough. There was a couple times you saw flash of his brilliance. I mean, you flick it over someone's head and then pass it out wide, which is great. But Kiefer Moore's doing that. He's holding up the ball. We don't need you doing that. We need you trying to get on the ball and do something. And
you need a team performance, don't you? And I feel with Bell sometimes is a bit too about him sometimes. Where in games like that, if it's not working, we need a team performance here.
I think the manager, I forgot his name, the Welsh manager.
Is it
Rob Page?
That's it. Geezer got it on the yellow pages, wasn't
it? Yeah. He's got for me, he's bottled that one there because I think taking Ramsey off was the wrong idea. I think Ramsey was having a better game than Bale and could find those players a bit better than Bale. What you've done, you've kept Bale on. He wasn't really doing anything. Ramsey was at least defending. Bale didn't really offer anything on the offensive or on the defensive. So
he hasn't got the legs to play 90 minutes either.
Yeah, that's what it is. Look, Angel 968 said, "Look, Bell's legs are done," and that's what it is. Bell's legs are done, and it is sad. It's sad. It's sad for Wales because I saw Bell's eyes and he had tears in his eyes, and I think he knew.
But then he's probably just saw this England result and he's like, "Hang on."
No, he's probably said, "Hang on," of course, but I think in general he's looked at that and been like, "Look, odds are we're out. Odds are we're out. This is the last international kind of tournament I'm going to be involved in."
Yeah, he don't play friendlies, does he?
Exactly. The only thing he cares about is Wales, and we've seen that over the past couple of years. All he cares about
because he don't play friendlies. This is I've always had this thing with this about Gareth Bale, right? If he cared about his nation as much as he says he does, when he's called up, he goes. He doesn't play friendlies.
He doesn't, but one thing I'd say, you know what, that is a fair argument. I haven't got a rebuttal to that really. The only thing I'd potentially say is he's performed for Wales.
Oh, so, he's always showed up, no doubt.
That's the caveat. That's the caveat for me. It's like, yes, he doesn't play the friendlies and all that type of thing, but when he puts on the shirt, he's always performed. And even in that last game, and I don't watch Wales regularly, so I wouldn't know, but in that last game, before today's one, so not the Iran game, the USA game, he had a poor game. Actually got turned inside out by Pulisic inside the box. Yeah, but he got the foul and scored the pen.
And that's
so
what matters.
That's what matters. He still got the result. Right now, he didn't offer anything, and I think for me, that's the end of Bale. I think he's in America right now. I think he
I
probably.
always said if he cared about Wales so much, he should have ended his career at Cardiff or Swansea. Why is he at America?
Gio saying the same thing.
There
Look,
you
Gio,
go. If he cared that much about his nation that he loves, yeah, why ain't he ended his career in Wales? Gone to America because of the money. Come on.
Yeah, of course. Of course. He got used to that. Do you know what? He's gone to LA as well. He got used to that Mediterranean Madrid life.
He's got a sun on his back. He's got cash in his pocket. He's got cash on it, money, sun on his back, and probably a nice woman. You know, I don't blame him.
Exactly. Nice couple, probably. Nice couple. But yeah, it's an intriguing one, and yeah, it's like I said, this group is looking like. Do you know what I mean? The fixtures are looking promising. So, yeah, it will be interesting. Yes, going to run through some of the comments before we get into our player of the days, assist of the days, team of the day, and yeah, flops of the day. Big up Hanny Simon saying, can I call in? Guys, we won't be doing a call in today, but we'll make sure we do a call in. We'll do one on Sunday. So on Sunday, we're going to give you guys an opportunity to go and have your say on the kind of the last, the week of football that we've had. It's been a hectic amount of football, so I'm going to make sure that we PR that properly and get all of you guys on. I know you guys love it.
I'm just looking back at Iran games on at the moment, the highlights. I forgot they had a goal disallowed for offside as well.
Yeah, they did.
And they had they hit the post. Fuck me, they ripped Wales apart.
They did. It was interesting. RJ saying, is it me, but wasn't Sancho hyped up just as much as Jude right now?
Sancho was hyped up by people. I wasn't a big Sancho fan, even when he was at Dortmund. He went to the wrong club. Let's face it, Manchester United's the wrong club for him. He shouldn't have gone there. And
I think the league's the wrong league as well. I think.
That's why. Look, Pep Guardiola happily let him leave Man City. Doesn't usually do that if you're a good player.
Yeah, exactly.
Never let Foden leave, did
he? Yes, very, very
tells you
true.
everything. Might he tell you everything?
I mean, look, RJ, I've had the same. I've had the same story. I mean, I think Jude's a good player. I don't think he's as good as people are ranting and raving about. I just don't see it. I don't see, because when I see Foden as an example, I can go and see him and be like, oh, okay, this player's got something about him. Jude looks like a good player, looks like a very, very good player. Of course, he could play at the highest level. Even if he came, and I throw this at everyone, if he was to come in that Liverpool midfield, he gives us legs. Does he give us anything else? Does he thread the ball through the eye of the needle and run around like that?
Is it this German tax everyone talks about?
Yeah, and it is. And the thing is, until it's proven otherwise, I think you've got to look at it, because I'm looking at a Jude and I don't know, compare him to Pedri in regards to on the ball. So threading passes through, breaking the lines through passes, I don't see it. What I see is someone that's got a lot of legs about him, very solid, mature in terms of his performances.
Yeah.
And he probably goes and gives us the legs that Liverpool need. Does he go and change the way our midfield play? Not necessarily.
He isn't a midfielder that's going to get 12 goals a season either.
Exactly. So that's why with me it's a weird one with Bellingham. He's the legs and he's the name.
Now I think about it more. That's why Klopp wants him so much.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He's the legs and he's the name and he's British and he's great. He's got a good attitude. Is he someone that you look and he's like, you know what? He's generational in what he does. Look at Valverde for Uruguay as an example. I don't think
but he's class. Valverde's different grade.
Exactly. He's a different kettle of fish, and I don't think he offers you that. And I haven't seen it. So
Valverde's top 5 in the world at the moment in all positions. He's just beautiful player.
That's really, really good. Really RJ saying, look, Qatar population is just under 3 million. And I mean, look, you can make a London FC then. Do you know what I mean?
Wow. London's 6 million, ain't it? London's 6 million on its own.
Exactly. So you could make 2 London FCs. You can make an A and a B.
That's going to be hard for Qatar to, unless they try and get that whole population into the sport, like everyone into it as one.
And I think that's what they're trying to do. That's why I go back to my point. Montari scoring that goal actually means a lot, because it shows that, you know what, we've got someone that's actually gone and scored at a World Cup, and we were able to compete with these teams. And I think what's really important, and one of the commentators actually said it, they haven't been embarrassed.
No,
they haven't had an Iran result, a 6-2, a 7-0. They haven't.
No, they haven't actually.
And because of that, it does look better when you look at the results. I mean, Poland could have those results at the end of the World Cup.
Yeah.
A draw. A draw and 2 losses, and it's just like, oh, you know what? They weren't great, but they're still just a team that floats about and gets into competitions, just makes up the numbers. So, yeah, GTV saying Virgil hates giving away corners. Does Verge not get that? That's literally one of the components to being a defender.
I was a defender at one time, yeah, and I hated giving away corners as well. And when I watch football now, right, I hate defenders giving away corners. I can't stand corners because corners is a free kick. That is what it is. It is a free kick, right? So you're giving free kicks away. So when I play, even when I play FIFA, yeah, I don't block shots because I hate giving away corners. So I rather them have a shot. I think some people feel like that, and some people feel like just throwing their body at absolutely everything and getting hammered and having a really short career. I mean, it's how you choose to defend, I suppose. But I was one of them personally. When I defended, I couldn't stand. If someone's going to have a shot from just outside the box, I let them.
No, but of course, a lot of the times, I mean, you try to get a block on it or whatever, you do. But it's one of those ones where I've always said shoot from distance, because nine times out of 10, unless you're a Neves from Portugal that just hits the target every single time you hit a long distance shot, like Gerrard or De Bruyne. I'm never going to let De Bruyne take a shot from outside.
I think you'd pick and choose who's taking that shot. If it was a De Bruyne or a Stevie or a Neves or someone quite like who can shoot from distance, you're blocking it down. But if it's someone you like, it's like when he it's like that time when Van Dijk. If
Verge was being attacked by Bobby and Bobby went to take a shot from outside,
he let him shoot.
Bobby steps across and is like, go on. Like Verge steps across and goes, go on, open goal. You know what I mean? Like,
take your pillow feet and have a shot. Yeah,
that's exactly it. Angel 968 saying, let's be honest, Holland were terrible today, completely overrun in midfield. De Jong anonymous. Yeah, fair point. When the US make you look bang average, you know you should be worried. Southgate doesn't play to win; he plays not to lose.
So Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't say that. I had to go at. I can't. I'm not allowed.
Yeah, you can't. You get cancelled.
Oh, you're not allowed to mention Klopp in any kind of disagreement ever.
I mean, what you got to do is just make lovely documentaries about how amazing the man is and what a God he is and what a godsend. And
love the man. People can't hack it yet. I had this argument yesterday, right, with Klopp. It's like, I love the man like he's my dad and I've never met him, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Love the man. But we can criticise him. Only because I'm criticising him and saying things he's done wrong doesn't mean I don't want him to be my manager. Exactly. Why can't people get that in their heads? I don't get it.
Because it's this thing with Liverpool fans, and I've said it, is any player, any manager, you just can't say anything about it. There's this whole kind of victim mentality, like within the club, where it's like, oh, we're being attacked. It's everyone against everyone else. We're Scouse, not English. They're all against us. I mean, we didn't get these points because they hate Liverpool. And it's just, no, like you can still be objective, support your club, but be objective, be fair, criticize the man when he needs to be criticized. Praise him when he needs to be praised, and you can wax lyrical about him and be shameless about it. But when he needs to be criticized, you just look like an idiot. When everyone's seeing something and you're like, well, he's not really performing that well, and you're still backing. Like, if hypothetically, if Liverpool to get relegated and you're still backing the man, like you just look silly.
There is a lot of Klopp. Like I said yesterday on my video about it, I went, look, like we've had 2 sporting directors have all quit in within 12 months, and if we were rival fans, say, this was Chelsea, right, and the manager was in there, and 2 sporting directors resigned under the same manager, as rival fans were going, what is your manager doing? So that means 2 sporting directors resigned. But we can't say it about our team. Like, I find it weird. Like, and now you're reading things that more stuff's coming out, and Ward's finding it hard to do his job because a certain person got a new contract and has more involvement in something now. So he's finding it harder to do his job.
Yeah, and he didn't agree to do
Klopp
the job.
wants to go away from date.
the chain of command was different.
Yeah. And Klopp wants to go away from data stuff. Klopp don't want to do the data stuff no more. He just wants to do old-fashioned scouting. And obviously Ian Graham and all that. Ian Graham's best at it. Everyone's copying what we've done because of Ian Graham.
Of course.
And we want to come away from that now. And Klopp wants to come away from that. You know, it's just can't always blame a certain set of owners.
But I mean,
everything's their fault 100% of the time.
I mean, you can't. And the thing is, it's great now because if reports are to be true, and he's got now full control of. I mean, the way
he's Wenger for Liverpool.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But and that's what it's going to become.
Yeah.
But if he is in full control of what type of players we sign, and he wants to do the old-fashioned scouting, if we fail in any measure, if players don't make the grade, if they're not good enough, if they don't fit our system, it goes on one person's head. So the pressure is just piling up. So great, because right now, to be fair, and it works out well because I've been very critical of Klopp, as many of people have, in terms of how he's done things. I don't think it's necessarily been FSG's fault. I know a lot of people want to chuck shade on FSG. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that. I think a lot of things we're talking about the football and the pitch. And the argument's been from loads of fans is, you know, we've got the best midfielder, we've got the best striker, we've got the best defenders, we've got the best fullbacks, we've got everything's the best. But we still need more players because it's not working out and Klopp's not been funded. Well, sorry, if we've got the best players, then make it work with the players that we've got. And I'm not, and sorry, coming second is fine. Coming fifth or fourth is not acceptable because you're saying that these players are the best. So if they are, I've got to look at one person, and that's the manager. And sorry, that is just the way football's always been. The manager's always the one that's looked at. But for some reason, Klopp has always got the blight. It's always FSG. It's always the players. It's always this person. It's always, the rain. It's always something else. So, he didn't the players. It's been these people that have done the data, and it's Julian Ward and Michael Edwards. But guess what? When you get rid of all those smoke screens, now it's on Klopp. So guess what, guys? If this is all true and Klopp becomes the head of everything, that's fine. If we do really well, he's going to get all the praise from me. But if there's any failure at all, it's Klopp now. And I don't want to hear there's other reasons to why something's not going on because it's going to be on Klopp. So, we'll have to wait and see.
I agree, man. I agree.
Yeah. Gio saying Pulisic needs to leave Chelsea. He's wasting talent. Yeah, he probably does.
He's always fit for America, but never fit for Chelsea.
But for Dortmund, he done well, didn't he? For Dortmund, he done well.
Yeah, I mean, maybe again another player that might not suit English football. It just might be that.
Yeah,
his body might not be able to suit the intensity of English football.
Exactly. Maybe that's what it is. And Dico saying Roberto Carlos said he'd take Trent for Brazil.
Yeah, they would as well. I'm telling you right now, Trent would be Brazil number one right back if he was Brazil.
I don't think he'd start. The reason
who plays right back for Brazil right now?
Danilo. But think of what. No. But think 100%. Going forward, he's not great. But think about how Brazil played.
Especially it depends how they play now. I suppose,
in years gone by, 100% Trent.
I think that's where Carlos is thinking from his era.
Yeah, 100%. He plays. I think right now what they've gone with Alexandro and Danilo, who just stayed
more strict.
It was a back foot and it allowed the attacking players to play. So
more strict.
100% in his time, 100%. I'm not surprised. Gio saying Musa is better than this guy, man. I think that's Bellingham. But USA tax. If Musa chose England, Bellingham is bench, and England win today. We'll have to wait and see on that.
Would Musa be allowed to do what he wanted for
exactly?
England, that's the thing.
Exactly. Angel 968 saying USA need a goal scorer.
They're hard to get, man. A lot of teams do. A lot of nations do.
Yeah. Gary Richards saying Kane is done. Agreed. So he's saying, look,
the Kane thing. There is going to have to be I think the Kane conversation would take a whole podcast, but I think we do have to have this talk about Harry Kane. What is his role? I don't know his role in this England team.
Do you know what the problem England have got, though? Is if you don't play...
He played the whole 90 minutes today. Why?
I know, but look, if you don't play Kane, and if Kane goes, it's scary because England have no one else that can play up front. No one. They haven't got a false nine.
I think if you played Ivan Toney and Callum Wilson together, we'd be fine.
But the midfield will get flooded though. That's a 2 in midfield against like USA's 3 as an example.
But the thing is, Kane is not a striker at the moment. So
he's not.
Then play someone in front of Kane.
He's not. But
then
what
play
he does,
Mount out, Kane where Mount is, and then play Callum Wilson in front.
No, maybe so. That's a fair argument. What I'm saying is that going in the future, look, England have always, for how bad England has been, like
they've always had forwards.
They've always had a forward. You've had Les Ferdinand that didn't get into the team. Andy Cole didn't give it into
Fowler.
the team. Fowler, Michael Owen, Shearer, Rooney. Like the list goes on and on and on. Ian Wright. The list goes on and on and on.
Yeah, we haven't really got that at the moment. But then, like we said, not a lot of teams have. Not a lot of nations have.
I know, but it's scary, isn't it? It's scary. It's just,
only if Haaland decided to represent England, you know.
No, but
here's one for you. If Haaland represented England instead of Norway, who would Gareth Southgate pick?
He has to play Haaland.
But would he?
No. But he could not. He could not play him because Haaland would automatically become the face of England. He'd become England's number 9. Because what it is now is that every era of England, there's always had England's number 9 that plays. Yeah. He might not wear the number 9, but he's the face of England. So Rooney was the face. You had Shearer that was the face. You've got Kane now that's the face. Just to name a few. Haaland, the amount of goals he's scoring would become England's number 1 guy.
Yeah.
And Kane would be part of that Sterling cohort where he's that close second. Sometimes he might outperform, but it's going to be Haaland because of what he's doing. If that's the case, I think Kane and Haaland play.
Yeah. You're right. We like you look at it. You got the only 2 real number 9s England have got is Toney and Callum Wilson. That are out of quality.
Welbeck. Who else?
Welbeck, you know.
No, Che Adams plays for Ireland, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Danny Ings, isn't it? Danny Ings.
Yeah, and that's it. But then I look at Holland. Watkins. They haven't got one. Germany haven't got one.
Calvert-Lewin, Watkins, but Watkins isn't really a number 9.
They're all rubbish, though. They're all average.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All rubbish.
And I look at Germany's attack, and I look at Germany's league when their number 9s are German, not great.
Yeah.
Italy. I mean, Italy used to have great number 9s.
Who have they got now? Oh, what's his name? West Ham fella.
Yeah, and he's Scamacca.
Scamacca, that's it. Scamacca.
You know, it's just it's dying, man. Everyone wants to be an inside forward now.
It is.
Mane and Salah made it too popular.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And Mbappe. You know, everyone wants to be Mbappe. He's not a forward, is he?
Yeah, it's true. And he doesn't want to play down the centre either. That's his issues at PSG. That's his issue at PSG. He wants to adopt Neymar's role in terms of what Neymar, and you see it for France. For France, he's coming in. He's actually just mirroring what Neymar does.
Yeah, he has that free role. Basically, a free role. Yeah,
exactly, a free role. That's what it is. G saying, "Thank you, Jerry. Why does his fan base hype Jude up? Good player, but for fuck's sake."
Yeah, I've said that. I ain't paying 150 for him.
This isn't Messi or Haaland, and
no, I ain't paying 150 for him. But for that, no one should be. I won't pay 150 million. You shouldn't pay over 100 million for a midfielder, unless they're so good.
Yeah.
No, I ain't paying over 100 million for Bellingham. That's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
Okay. Ravi saying, Kane is finished. We could have done something against the USA, but played negative. England looks so dusted. Yeah. It's crazy. RJ saying like and subscribe. So guys, please make sure you're liking the video. We've got 30 likes at the moment. Let's get that to 50 likes, people. People on the replay as well. Make sure you're smashing the like. And make sure you're checking over Jamie Phillips for all the watch-alongs as well. Great watch-alongs as well. Great content. Jamie, let's get into it. So, guys, the poll was out, and we got player of the day. So, obviously, the man of the matches today were Pulisic, De Jong, Chishimi, and Boulaye Dia for Senegal. The 4 games, Chishimi being the Iranian midfielder, De Jong, how he got it, I don't know. He's actually, you guys are giving him 17% of the vote.
And these what the FIFA gave them, man.
This is what FIFA gave.
Bung no.
So obviously, Pulisic has won it, but I'm gonna obviously ask you individually now, Jamie, your player of the day and an honourable mention as well. So someone that didn't get it, but
my favourite player today that I saw was probably Adams from America. I thought he was excellent. I just thought he was excellent today. Like, no one got a touch. His athleticism and his strength, and it's not just that. His ability to actually play the ball when he has to. He's just not an enforcer who beats people up and wins the ball back. And he reads the game really well. He could pass between the lines. I thought he was excellent. Again, I don't really see much of these American boys, but my God, they should be. Yeah, he's my favourite. He is my favourite actually to watch today. And honourable mention. Let me think. Honourable mention. I'm going to go with the Ecuadorian fullback. I can never remember his name. I just loved his enthusiasm.
Placido.
Yeah, the man was volleying everything. He tried a header from 25 yards. I mean, even Annie McCoy went, that was a bit too much. But no, I love that. I want to be entertained watching football. It's the most entertaining sport in the world. I want to be entertained. So that sort of player just makes me laugh and it makes me smile, and I get entertained by him. And I've never seen him play before. That's what I love about World Cups. Some players I've never seen in my lifetime. I'm watching, I'm thinking, yeah, he's a fun little player,
Yeah.
Fun little player. So I'm going with him as well.
And that's what I love about the World Cup. About the World Cup. I'd probably go for who's my player of the day. Interesting. You know what? Adams is a very good shout. It's a very good shout. I mean, Musa played really well, but I think Adams gets it for me. I think Adams, 100%. I think he's got legs. He plays the right pass. He's a leader. He's captain or at age of like 24. I mean, he's quite young. It's a young team. So, it's annoying that Leeds have got him. I can't believe Liverpool didn't try and take a punt on him, and instead we got Arthur Melo. Cost about 18 million. I mean, I don't know. This is what I'm saying. I feel like we shouldn't have to do the scouting during the World Cup and start coming up with these random names. What are the scouts doing? They're just going for the names that, that are popular on FIFA. It just doesn't make any sense.
I've been saying this for ages that I think Liverpool's recruitment is heavily overrated.
It is.
Because apparently we wanted Valverde before he left to go to Real Madrid.
That's right.
And didn't he go to Real Madrid for like 4 million?
Yeah. Less than we got.
But they didn't know if he could be the player he is now, but they liked him. It's 4 million. Take the risk. It's 4 mil. It's 4 mil. Take the risk.
I mean, the problem you've got as well. I mean, you take the risk, but then it's just the question is, does he even develop in this Liverpool team? Does he develop?
Nah.
Does he become the player he is at Liverpool?
Fair, I think at Real Madrid, he's only really started developing the last 18 months.
I mean, you say that, but he was quite young, and he was playing that right back, and he was coached.
Yeah, that's true. He did play. They didn't know where to play him, did they?
I mean, being coached by Zidane, who's telling you what to do. I mean, it's going to help. It's going to help a lot. So his development's been there. It's an interesting one always, but I mean, you got to take it for 4 million. How you listen? Those are the people we should be scrapping about for, because Real Madrid deal with the Mbappes of this world and the Haalands of this world. We shouldn't actually. There should be no chance in hell that Madrid are competing and snapping guys up for 4 million and 5 million. And
Camavinga, 20 million. Camavinga went for 20 million.
So we
played Salzburg in the Champions League and went, you know what? That forward is a quality player. No, not Haaland. Take him in a minute.
Well, we then played Leipzig in the Champions League, and then said, "Oh yeah, Adams, he's decent. He was playing right back that game. But he's decent. But nah, we're gonna go and we're gonna get Arthur Melo this season." There's no midfielders about. Apparently, no midfielders about. We got Henderson. We've got Morton. Wow, we've got Morton, who's played the 8 this season in pre-season. Wow, amazing.
If Morton
Yeah.
kicks ball for us next season, I might just give up.
You know he will. You know he will. You're looking away into the distance because you know he will. You know he's going to get some minutes.
Just give up.
Milner's going. We need a Milner. Morton, Milner. They both start with M. Same amount of letters, so you're not really spending any more money on the kits.
It's like England's midfield today. England's midfield at the end of that game was very Liverpool-esque. It was Henderson, Rice, and Mount.
Aren't we linked with those two as well?
Yeah, we're linked with both of them.
Jesus.
Oh dear.
That's what it is, Marquez. That's what it is, Marquez. Just enjoying this World Cup until we have to watch the pain again at LFC. That's what it is. I don't even want to talk about Liverpool too much. Like, I'm enjoying this World Cup a lot.
Yeah, World Cup's been fun. Yeah, it's been fun. And Qatar, by the way, are putting on a good World Cup. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, it's been very, very good. Very good. I think.
I like the opening things before the match starts with all the fireworks coming out, the World Cup and all that. That's cool. Like showing that. Nice.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Really good. Your assist of the day, Jamie.
My assist of the day. Oh, bloody hell. I can't remember any of the assists now. Trying to remember all the assists. Oh, my God. I can't remember all the assists. Trying to remember all the games back now. That England game's killed me.
So you obviously got the Iran. You know what? Let's not do assist of the game a day because there wasn't a great assist.
No, that's what I'm saying. There wasn't one that stood out, was there?
But goal of the day, we can do that one.
Goal of the day. I'm gonna give it Iran's second goal, man. Getting all 3 points against Wales. Sealing a victory for Iran in the World Cup over Wales.
You know what?
That's what I'm doing.
I'm going to give it to the first goal. I think
the first one was great as well.
Because it was a pinball at the moment. I think one of the players made a wrong decision, just volleyed it straight at like Mepham or someone. And the ball's come out and he just wrapped it into the bottom corner. And it was a big goal for them. It was a big goal because it was looking like Wales might hang on to that draw. And that would have been devastating for Iran. Devastating. I'd go the first goal. My honourable mention for the goal is Muntari's goal for Qatar. I think that goal meant a lot to them.
That's a good point.
It was a good goal
for Qatar in the World Cup.
Exactly. I think their first goal in a major tournament as well. The player must be ecstatic with that just from a personal level.
Yeah, he's always going to remember that, isn't he?
You know what I mean?
No, scrap it. Let's give it to him because Qatar scoring a goal in a World Cup, he's going to remember that for the rest of his life. Yeah,
that's what he's saying. Gio saying Gakpo rasped it. Yeah, he did, but I just don't know, man. The PR Gakpo's getting at the moment is just.
There's something about Gakpo I just don't trust. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. I just can't put my finger on it.
I don't know where he plays. Like, what's his actual position? He doesn't.
At the moment, he's played 10, 8, and 9.
But he don't look like an 8. He don't on the ball. He doesn't look like a winger when he plays. He doesn't look like a striker. I just don't.
No.
He's just a player. He's just a player. So I mean, look, he's getting goals, so can't really say anything. And then your team of the day, Jamie.
Iran. Got to be Iran.
Yeah.
I mean, I could say America. The thing that's stopping me saying America, England have never actually beat USA in a World Cup. We've played them 3 times in World Cups now. We've never beaten them.
Yeah.
So I am going to go Iran because they're picking up 3 points and they got a chance to still go through into the knockout stages.
And all they need is a draw.
Yeah, who would have thought?
All they need is a draw.
Who would have thought? So yeah, Iran.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. Carp saying, Jude looks like one-paced guy. He might flop in the Premier League. We don't know.
Wherever Jude goes, though, pressure, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's had too much publicity now.
Do you know what I would actually say? I think even if you got the publicity, if he stays in Germany or Madrid, there's always pressure. But if he was to go, let's say Bayern Munich went and bought him from Borussia Dortmund.
You're right.
I think, yes, it's pressure, but it's not in the limelight. No, if he goes to Liverpool United,
it's just Yeah,
It's a lot of
Man City. Even Man City's going to be a lot
even
of
Man
pressure.
City. I mean, Man City. The problem is that they can go and buy another forward that same or midfielder that
Yeah.
same summer, and he won't be the marquee. They'll
No.
spend 150 million in him, and they'll go, you know what, we're going to spend 155 on Mbappe to play on the wing. They
I
could do
think
that.
it's Liverpool. Look, if Bellingham went to Liverpool,
He'd get the number 8 as
he's
well.
going to get the number 8 off Kate Naby. So that's going to be Gerrard's number. Gerrard's going to personally give it to him with a handshake as a photo op.
Yeah,
You know they're doing that. They're going to do that. They're going to do that as the photo op. So straight away, everyone's going to be, we've got the next Stevie. And as soon as he has one bad game, it's over.
Yeah, it'll be it's
pressure, man. If I was Jude, I'd actually go to Madrid if I'm going anywhere.
Yeah. If
they're because there's not the pressure won't be on him because he's got a Camavinga there, a Valverde there, a Tchouaméni there.
And
the pressure won't be on him.
Madrid. There'll be pressure from Madrid, but that's the same type of pressure you'd get from any fan base.
Yeah.
The pressure wouldn't really be there. And
No.
I think the same thing would be with Bayern Munich. I think if Bayern Munich said, you know what, we want to get a midfielder, he knows the league well, it will probably be the right step if you play for Bayern Munich because they played the Champions League off.
Yeah, he'd be happy at Bayern Munich. I think he'd be comfortable there.
Yeah, it'd be comfortable though.
But no, playing for England and Man United, look at what if you were Bellingham, you'd look at what's happened to Sancho.
Yeah.
So that's why Bellingham was going to City. What's happening?
Exactly. Yeah.
Got Ireland in front of him. It's happening.
Ah, Jesus. Well, guys, look, it's been another World Cup show. Big up to everyone that's tuned in, everyone that catches it on the repeat as well. Listen, we know the show is the best World Cup show. I mean, after the games, all you guys come on. A lot of you guys doing reviews. A lot of you guys message me as well, so it's hugely appreciated. I speak for G-ish, Saint, and Romz that couldn't make it today. That listen, they're appreciating all the feedback that they're getting on the shows as well. We've had a lot of good feedback from some big companies as well, talking about how well we're doing. So it's been amazing. Jamie, it's been a pleasure. Just let the people know where obviously they know where they can find you. But just let them know what's coming up. So tomorrow, I don't know.
So you can find me on Jamie Phillips Football Chats, and that's my YouTube channel, guys. Go and check me out there on the way to 3K. So we've got France Denmark tomorrow. Should be an interesting game. Then obviously I'll be back here. Then what we got Sunday? Then we've got Spain Germany Sunday. Seeing Germans going out in the World Cup. It's going to be fun, guys. Make sure you tune in. And
are you just doing the one watch along?
Yeah, I'm going to do the ones tomorrow because it's the weekend, spending most of it with the family.
Yeah,
so
of course,
just the one.
Guys, make sure you're all messaging Jamie Phillips as well. He's literally Penny. His daughter has come back home. She's finally home.
Oh man,
after 16 weeks. So listen, it's incredible. Please make sure you're all bigging him up in the comments, in the chats. Make sure you're private messaging him, DMing him, just wishing him and the family all the best. So big up to everyone. But guys, as always, you catch us on the World Cup show here tomorrow again, same time of 9:10, straight after the games, where we're going to be doing the best match analysis, best banter, and the best reactions. But it's been the World Cup show. Myself and Jamie, and we're out.